Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 7. Okay, we will answer the question given by lecture. My name is Sinta. I will answer number 1 and number 3. The question number 1 is the differences between subjective and objective tests. The answer is the objective test is also known as the short story answer. The objective tests only by selecting a specific code that has been provided, for example, by crossing, circling, or blackening the mark of the selected answer option. Subjective tests are carried out based on categories determined by the question made. Also, the answer is long but does not fit the category determined by the question made. The score is not necessarily high. So, the difference between objective and subjective test is the objective test is a multiple choice test, a true-false test, and a fill-in test. This test is also tested more thoroughly than a subjective test. The objective test is very easy to correct, while the subjective test is an essay test in the form of a description. This test also encourages students to have the courage to express their opinions and compose good sentences. Okay, next, number 3. The question is testing for English for general and testing English for specific purposes. The answer is the general English test is the TOEFL test, while the English test for specific purposes is the IELTS test. Okay, next will be answered by Ranji.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ranji Pradhan. Um, I will explain about. I will answer about the question number 2. The differences between correctness and appropriacy. Correctness in perspective grammar. Correctness is the notion that certain words, word forms, and synthetic structures meet the standards and convention, that is, rules prescribed by traditional grammarians. And appropriacy refers to whether a word is suitable for the context it is being used in. It is an important aspect of language, but an extremely complex one, as decision about how to say things depend on understanding exactly what is right for the context and the culture. And the next question is number 4. The difference between artificial and authentic testing materials. And I will answer this. These features concern the nature of the task given in a test. In older tests, are reduced of spirit, small, and cognitive tests. An artificial authentic or final test feature concern the nature of the test given in a test. In older tests, not only were the test items reduced to a number of separate small cognitive tests, but great care was taken to keep separate the assessment of the four skills of the reading, writing, listening, and speaking. In the more recent tests, with their emphasis on authentic settings, the tests have been presented in an integrated way so that many parts of the test pick up the multi-skill features of real life where reading leads to speaking, then to writing with possibly more speaking the sort of sequence we would see in an executive committee meeting. Thank you.
Okay, I will explain the answer to the question. Phases in language test contraction. Phases in language test contraction. Stage in the contraction language test. A. Defines a test. First, define the test audience. Second, set the type of score. Third, define the test content domain. B. Develop a test specification table. The specification table is a kind of blueprint or plan to determine the relative weight of each component in the test, so that it is seen as truly reflecting the measured construct domain content. C. Choose a scaling method, namely the assignment of various numbers to various testing responses to reflect the ownership of physiological attributes that are being measured in different numbers. D. Write down items. There are two important things to note. The first, at this stage, the test compiler is tasked with compiling the item file for the test. Second, the choice of a particular type of scale will determine the appropriate item format. E. Review and revise items. The review or review of the item will include checking on matters, namely accuracy, relevance to the specification table, grammar and spelling. F. Assembling items. Assembling these items into a semi-final form test that are ready to be tested on both a small and large scale. In general, this step will cover two things, namely, the first, giving instruction for the test. Second, assembling the items into a semi-final test form. G. Do a trial run. Do a trial run implemented in two stages. First, preliminary trial. Second, real trial. H. Item analysis. Item analysis is examining the statistical characteristic of the test response in the actual trial of each item, the purpose of item selection. E. Checking reliability, validity, and discriminatory power. G. Prepare manuals and publish tests. The first, user's manuals. The second, technical manual. Okay, thank you. I think that's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.